Hey everyone, Robert Ferringo with Doc Sports here with Pigskin Talk with Ferringo and Esparza. We got to work on that name, Raphael. We got to work on that name, my friend. We're talking NFL week one. In case you've been living in a cave or in a rock or got caught up in one of the many natural disasters happening in this country, and you're just popping your head back out to get some cable and internet, the NFL is back. So Raphael and I are here to help you through week one. Before we get to that, though, let's pay the bills. Go to docsports.com, docsports.com, click the link above or below and get $60 free to use towards any package for any handicapper that you like. Not into football? Fine. We got WNBA, CFL, Korean baseball, whatever you're into, we've got you covered with some of the best handicappers and best sports betting experts in the industry. And we are lucky enough to have one of them here right now, Raphael Esparza. Fun fact about Raphael, you've never met a better football handicapper that absolutely despises football than Raphael Esparza. How you doing, Raphael?
I don't hate all football. I do not like the NFL. It's college football, all Jones. Yeah, CFL jonesing for it. NFL, too much laundry on the field. I can't wait to watch Pinocchio on Sunday. Can't wait to catch up on Game of Thrones because I watch all Sunday NFL games Sunday night and Monday morning because fast forward is my friend.
The 30-minute condensed games to me are like the best thing that ever happened to my handicapping. I spend all Sunday just getting drunk and watching games and yelling at the TV. Then Monday morning from like 9 a.m. till 1 or 2 in the afternoon, I rewatch every game. Those 30-minute condensed games, they're a life changer if you haven't partaken in that. All right, Raphael, let's get it going with the Saints and the Falcons. Now, I picked this game because you're down in Houdat territory with them Saints. A lot of money coming in on New Orleans, a lot of unbalanced action on this one. Are we putting too much faith and too much trust in Jameis Winston?
I want to say yes, but I'm putting too much, or people are putting too much faith on his offense. This offense has question marks all over the field. Michael Thomas, Jameis and his knee. Kamara's probably going to get suspended sometime in the season. What are we going to do with Hill? So there's so many questions. We all know their defense is going to be there. Their defense is probably going to be top 5, top 10 in the league. Their defense is going to be the reason why they probably win a lot of games. So I have no worries about their defense. Offense, I still have just tons of worries. You know me, I'll be doing some stuff with the Saints. I cannot announce it yet just because of some gaming issues that we're dealing with. But I would love to see the Dirty Birds win and beat the Saints in this one. So when I do a live stuff with them in the next couple of weeks, it'll be funny. I can make fun of them. But I think the Saints pull one out. This Atlanta team, in my views right now in week one, battling for the worst record between them and the Bears maybe. So I think the Saints pull out a victory. But I think the Saints only win by 4. I think the Falcons cover.
I actually disagree with you a little bit about the Saints offense. I think the Saints offense is going to be sneaky outstanding this year. It all comes down to Winston. And frankly, I'd go with Andy Dalton. I thought he looked good in the preseason, and he's less likely to turn the ball over. He's still not great, but he's less likely to turn the ball over than Winston, who's just a proven loser, right? Michael Thomas isn't 100%, but it looks like he's going to play. And even if they don't have Michael Thomas, they kind of don't need him. They have Jarvis Landry, so they have a legit number one receiver. I really like the rookie, Chris Olave. I think he is going to be very, very good. And then they had those other guys like Traquan Smith. Everybody else gets slotted down now in that offense. And Kamara, he's not suspended now, so he is going to be playing this week. I'm looking at the over in this game. And something to consider about the Saints. Raphael, did you know that the Saints are the best road bet in the NFL? 38-14 against the spread in their last 52 road games, 19-8 against the spread as a road favorite. Think about that. That's almost 75% their last 52 road games. Again, does that entice you to put some money down on New Orleans this weekend?
I'm probably going to pass on this one, but I'm a little opposite on you on this total. I kind of like the under on this game. Last 7 meetings, 5 of them have gone under. A couple of those games, I thought their offense was way better than what their offense might display because you said, the rookie has looked good. He's still a rookie, and we've only played preseason games. I need to see what he's going to do in real games? Can Thomas last the whole game? Is he going to get hurt? You just said Jameis. So I think the under might be a small play if I had to play on this one, just because on the recent. And we all know I don't think Atlanta's going to score points because they're looking for their future quarterback for next year's draft, or maybe with free agents, because there's going to be some big names and free agents for quarterbacks. Marcus Mariota is not their future quarterback. So I would lean towards the under in my point of view.
Well, we disagree on the total, but I think we agree that you're an idiot and that I'm right and that you're wrong and that this game is going over. So let's move on to the next game. We're going to talk the Steelers and the Bengals. A lot of love for the Bengals, obviously. 8-0 against the spread in their last 8 games. When last we saw them, they were covering the spread in the Super Bowl, went on that fantastic run. But Raphael, we've been doing this a long time. You know as well as I do. Last year was last year. This year is this year. That momentum does not carry over into this season. The Steelers are in that weird transitional moment going from the Big Ben era to whatever's next. I think we both agree that Mitch Trubisky won't be around long enough to have an era in Pittsburgh. But what do you see when you look at this AFC North clash?
I like the road dog in this one. Plus 6.5. I mean, last time I checked, Pittsburgh, all they did was win double-digit wins every season. And they had noodle arm Big Ben probably throwing 20 yards or less passes for the last 3 years. So now you get Trubinsky or the rookie Pickett that can probably throw the ball. You figure he's probably going to get some game time in this one. Their offensive line is a little bit better than last year. And one thing I like about their offensive line, they have now a mobile quarterback. Both Pickett and Trubinsky can move around. Big Ben didn't move around. He was a pocket passer because he was so old. That's going to help the offensive line if they do some bootlegs. They don't have to pressure that much. I like Pittsburgh. Not in this game, plus 6.5. I like them. I'm not going to say they're going to win the division, but wow, plus 880 or 9-1 in the win division. If I did release futures on our site, I don't anymore. I love total season wins over 7.5 for Pittsburgh. I'm high on Pittsburgh this year because that defense is going to be really good lights out as well.
I'm with you 1,000%. I only released one NFL and one college future play. But if I had released more, my second favorite NFL futures play was Pittsburgh over this year. I agree with you. I think people are sleeping a little bit on Mitch Trubisky. I'm not here to sell you on him as, Pro Bowl quarterback or savior of the team, but guy's a veteran. Okay. He has played in playoff games. He played in big games in Chicago at a time when he really had no business starting. He's the perfect example of a guy who came into the league as kind of a project. He should have been sitting behind a veteran quarterback for his first 2 years and then performing. But, he went to Buffalo last year, looked real good in the preseason. I know you can't extrapolate that out, but he just looks like a different guy now that he's logged some time in the NFL. I agree with you. I think he's going to be better than Big Ben, who is sub-replacement level each of the last 2 years. The last time that these two teams played, the Bengals laid a whooping on the Steelers. It was 41-10.
Beat them both times last year.
Beat them both times, and the second time was pretty bad. We talked about the Saints being the best road bet in the NFL. The Steelers are the best underdog bet in the NFL. 35-15 against the spread in their last 50 times as an underdog. And they're the Steelers. They're not underdogs very often. But when they are, they come through at a 70% clip over almost the last 10 years. So I'm with you. For me, it's Steelers or nothing. All right, moving on to the Eagles and Lions. A lot of Lions love these days, right? They were the Hard Knocks team. Everybody likes Dan Campbell. Oh, he's crying.
What's Hard Knocks?
What's that?
What's Hard Knocks? Never heard of that.
Yeah, very, very funny. So what do we got here? Do we have some people that want the Lions to be better than they actually are? Or they played hard, they played everybody tough last year. They gave good effort last year. Are they trending in the right direction and we should be jumping on this bandwagon early? What are you looking at in this game?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's giving love to the Eagles. They think they're going to win the division. I even saw some people say the Eagles could go to the Super Bowl. I'm high on the Lions. I think they won't be in the basement this year. I think it's going to be a battle between Green Bay and Minnesota. But I kind of like the Lions. I like their defense. And don't forget their last win last year. They beat the Packers. I mean, granted, the Packers were wrestling a lot of people. But when you beat Green Bay And then you have an offseason where you're on that TV show on HBO, Hardwood or Hard something. I don't watch that stuff.
Hates football, people. He hates football.
I think that's going to motivate them. I think defense is going to be close. I have the Eagles squeezing one out, but don't sleep on this Detroit Lion team.
I don't disagree not to sleep on the Lions team. I do disagree. I think their defense is a train wreck. They're still really bad on that side of the ball. They just don't have the players, and I just don't really understand what they're doing schematically. Offensively, you know what they want to do, okay? They want to do that inside zone trap running, run down your throat, get downhill, set up the play action game. I think they have some weapons. TJ Hawkinson's going to have a big game in this one. The Eagles don't defend tight ends very well. I really like DJ Chark. He's a guy who got hurt a lot in Jacksonville, and he was just in Jacksonville, but he's a really, really good receiver. So the Lions are going to score some points this year. I just don't know if they can stop anyone. I'm on that Eagles bandwagon, okay? But one thing to consider about the Eagles, they're 5-11 against the spread in their last 16 road games. They're 3-13 against the spread in their last 16 in September. They don't get off the fast starts, even good Eagles teams. Two teams with a lot of hype. It's going to be very interesting to see how that one shakes out. Now, you mentioned the Packers. Let's talk about them and the Vikings. Raphael, you may know this or you may not know this, but did you know that the Vikings actually have a winning record against the Packers straight up over their last 10 meetings?
Yes.
Yeah, 6-4 straight up.
Green Bay always struggles at US Bank.
Yeah, exactly. Minnesota beat them at home last year. What are we looking at? I mean, it's new year, new you with the Vikings. All right, they got all the warm and fuzzies now that Zimmer's out of there. Green Bay lost more than it gained. Is there a little value with the Vikings here?
There is, because as of last night when everyone was watching the football game, I had the football game not on sound because I was watching WNBA playoffs and baseball. But I think we're going to see this team. I think the Rams lost last night. The roof's going to collapse. They're going to go 0-17. And I think the Packers lose this game. And everyone in Green Bay, the roof is going to fall down. And they're going to go 0-17. And why did we give Aaron Rodgers this money? We should have given it to Adams, blah, 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 blah. Relax, people. It's a 17 week. Even if the Packers lose this one, I still think they're going to win a division. I'm talking about today, Sunday's game right now. I like the Vikings on this one. New head coach. Moving forward out of that whole regime, I think Kirk Cousins has a big game. And I know the wide receivers have question marks with Green Bay, but I have no question marks for the right. Because let's face it, Adams wasn't known when he came in the league. He came from Fresno State. He wasn't the number one wide receiver coming out of draft. Aaron Rodgers made it. Aaron Rodgers is going to make a name out of some one of these wide receivers or tight ends or whatever. Just not in week one. It's a bad spot. Packers always have a hard time winning at US Bank Stadium. I'm going SKOW, skull. Give me the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. When Aaron Rodgers is putting it right here, it's tough not to catch it. So the receiver should be all right. This is a big stay away for me, but I agree with you. If you really want to play it for some reason, for me, it would be Vikings or nothing, despite the fact that Green Bay has been so phenomenal in the regular season the last several years. The Vikings have kind of had their number. I'm kind of looking at the under in this game as well. You know, all the talk about Green Bay and the receivers and Aaron Rodgers tripping balls in South America and all that stuff. Very quietly, Green Bay has a top 3 defense in the NFL. They are loaded on that side of the ball. They are so good defensively that, for me, that's why it's going to be hard to bet against them this year. The Vikings, they are going with a completely new scheme. All right, they ditched the 4-3. They're going back to the 3-4. A lot of times teams don't have the personnel for it, but I kind of feel like the Vikings do. I think that they're going to make a decent transition there, and they're going to be throwing some things at Aaron Rodgers that he hasn't seen from this group of Vikings. So for me, I'm looking at the under in that one. I think both defenses kind of dictate that game. The final game that we're going to talk about, not a ton of defense is expected to be played. Raiders-Chargers. All right, this should be a good one. This should be an exciting one. Another one out of the 5 games that we're talking about today, 4 of them are divisional matchups, which is kind of interesting to me. But Raphael, Raiders, Chargers, who do you like?
Yeah, everyone remembers the last time they played. It was in early January, overtime game. Should he kneel? Should he sit down? Should he forfeit the game? Should he not show up to the game? Should we have a tie? We all remember all that scenarios. It ended 35-32. It flew over the total. I think we're going to see the same type of game we saw that game. Tons of offense. And I know the Chargers defense has improved. Mac is going to be a big improvement for the Chargers. I think Bosa is going to have a big season because of Mac. I'm not saying Mac's going to play every down, but when he's in there, Bosa is going to have a really good partner on the side of the ball with Mac in there. I just think too many points, too many good quarterbacks. I think Carr will put some touchdowns in. I think the Chargers should win this game, and I think both quarterbacks have big games. You just said it. I think tons of points are going to be scored in this one. Probably no overtime, but I still think both teams hit the high 28s, 29s, 30 range. It's going to be a fun one to watch. I think best game on the betting board, I think.
I talked in depth on this game on Tony George's show. So if you want to check that out, that's also in the Doc Sports YouTube channel, thread, whatever you got going on. But check that out as well. That's 45 minutes of good football talk. So I'm not going to deep dive this one too much, but I definitely like the Chargers here. Last night, kind of big difference maker for Buffalo. Now, they dominated that game on both sides of the ball all the way. But Von Miller, right, he's not going to play every down, and he's not going to be healthy for all 17 weeks. But right now in week one, he is, and he's a dominator. Khalil Mack's that guy. You got Mack on one side, Bosa on the other. They're not both going to stay healthy for this entire season. They just aren't those types of players. Like, they always get hurt at some point. But right now, this week, this game, they're both healthy, and they're going to be wreaking absolute havoc. Chargers do have the revenge factor, and that number, that 3.5, giving you that extra half a point, it's almost like the books are baiting that Raiders money. And they don't really have to, because they, so much Las Vegas money comes in because they're kind of the hometown Raider team. They have kind of an outsized following in that part of the country, in California and Nevada. So it feels like a trap. The only thing that kept me from making this a much bigger play is all the trends. I'm not a huge trend guy, but I feel like early in the season in the NFL, they can be useful. All the trends in this series point towards the Raiders. The underdog in this series is 20-7 against the spread. That's over 14 years. Can't ignore that. The Raiders are 9-4 against the spread in their last 13 games in San Diego/LA. And the Chargers are 20-41 against the spread at home. They've been a terrible home team for the last 10 years. It doesn't matter which part of the state that they're playing in. So I still like the Chargers, but not enough to make it my highest rated play of the week. Otherwise, it would have been. So, Raphael, all right, final thoughts, free plays, send us off here before you go start watching cricket or whatever, making props on King Chuck or whatever else you're going to do to spend your Friday. Give us something good.
I'm working on Tom Brady prop bets right now. Will he be divorced by the end of the season? And what's his next girlfriend going to be? That's what I'm working right now. And I got tennis on TV. The mixed doubles going on right now. But the free play is a game we were just talking about. The Chargers. I was teeter-tottering, going back and forth. Should I play the Chargers? Should I play the Chargers on this one? And I think the revenge factor is key. And I just think they're at home. And hopefully they have more of a home field advantage. Lately, last year, they had more road jerseys pretty much in their stadium than they did the baby blue jerseys in their stadium. So I think you said Mac's going to make a big difference. He's healthy because you know what? It's week one. Just like Von Miller was healthy last night because it's week one. So I'm hoping that's going to be on there. I still think we see a lot of points, but I think the Chargers, I have them winning by 6 in this game. So I'm going to give the Chargers some love this week. And they're my Super Bowl pick. That's right. I'm going to say it right here. They're my Super Bowl pick to win it all. Trophy stays in L.A.
Well, that's not going to happen, but good luck. Good luck with that one. I'm going to go ahead and say that the Eagles win and cover. That number is a little short. It was 44-6 last year when these two teams played. The Lions have closed the gap, but not enough. I'm long on the Eagles this year. I like the veteran presence. It isn't just because they got A.J. Brown. They have an identity. They run the ball. They play defense. And now that they have some weapons in the passing game, they can diversify that offense a little bit. I don't think the Lions are gonna know what hit them in this game. Detroit, they want to come out, they want to push people around with their offensive line, they want to run the ball, they want to play this physical game. That's fine. That's not going to rattle the Eagles. That's the style of football they want to play. They're going to play it better. I can see them winning this game by a touchdown, 7 to 10 points. I don't think it'll be another 30-plus point bloodbath. But I do think the Eagles win and cover that game comfortably. All right, he's Raphael Esparza. Oh, he's this way. He's Raphael Esparza. I'm Robert Ferringo. We are Doc Sports, docsports.com. Hey, come Join the team. Fortune favors the bold, people. Get in the game this weekend. It should be a fun one. Carpe diem. Good luck.